likes to run, but they haven't been running.
Join the growing number of armchair quarterbacks.
CTV News tonight, making your world make sense.
The future is coming to get you. Your guide is a renegade cop turned private eye.
If there's something going on out there that I don't know about, I think I'd know about it.
William Shatner's Tech War, Saturday at 10 on Channel 3.
I'm sitting here with this Rose, a previous guest on the show, gave me earlier today, and all Jeff can think about is dipping it in Pepto-Bismol, which must be weighing heavily on your mind. Were you
weighing heavily on my stomach.
Drinking that a lot yesterday?
The power of advertising. No, I didn't. But
so I never saw that ad. If you dip this in Pepto-Bismol and put it in
an acid solution,
carbonated acid.
Yeah. It's supposed to
very useful nice to know. You have a good New Year, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You've never seen it.
CTV Shirley will not be seen today, but returns tomorrow. CTV's Canada AM, Canada's most watched morning show.
Serving Southern Alberta, we are Channel 3.
The following is a special presentation of CTV Sports.
It is just after 8 a.m. in Southern California. You're looking live over top of South Orange Grove Boulevard and Colorado Boulevard, the site of the 1995 Tournament of Roses Parade. It is the second day of January 1995, and Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Rod Black. Welcome to CTV Sports Control in Toronto. In a few moments, we'll be going to Pasadena, California for the annual Bouquet Parade, the Roses Parade, one of the most watched events in all of sports, and I guess you could call it a sporting event. About 325 million people will be watching worldwide. You saw that shot just moments ago. There are 1 million people along the roadsides in Pasadena, California to watch that event live. So we're going to be going there in just a few moments. If you woke up yesterday and you thought that you had missed the Roses Parade because it was New Year's Day, and traditionally the parade is held on New Year's Day, you were obviously wrong, because there is another tradition in Pasadena. It says that the Roses Parade is never held on a Sunday. So today, on the second day of January, the Roses Parade is taking place. That's only part of the celebration, of course. Later today on CTV, we'll also have the Rose Bowl game featuring the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Oregon Ducks. That's later today, so this is a kickoff before the kickoff. Before we go to Pasadena to bring you the sights and sounds, let's bring you up to date on the world of sports and day 94 of the NHL lockout. No New Year's resolution yet between the two sides. They are talking in Chicago, albeit without Bob Goodenow and Gary Bettman, trying to resolve the labor dispute with the January 16th drop deadline looming. With no pro hockey, there are loads of people interested in the World Junior Hockey Championships in Red Deer, Alberta. Canada's still undefeated, guaranteed a medal, the color of which has yet to be decided. Yesterday in Edmonton, Canada against Finland. Canada 4-0 up until this point, and the Canadians get the goal to make it 4-1. Eric Daze, the goal from Marty Murray, who had a goal himself in the game. Then in the third, Alexander Daigle, his first goal of the tournament. The Canadians continue to roll. They win 6-4 over Finland yesterday, and Canada is now 5-0 at the World Junior Hockey Championship. And later today, Canada will be playing against Russia this afternoon. Sweden will play against Finland today in Calgary. If the Swedes win, they will play Calgary on Wednesday for the gold medal. As I mentioned, Penn State and Oregon on the Rose Bowl game still to come later today on CTV Sports. But when we come back, we move a little bit closer to Pasadena, California, and we bring you the 106th Tournament of Roses Parade.
The 106th Tournament of Roses Parade, sponsored by the all-new Chevrolet Cavalier. The best-selling car in Canada just got a whole lot better. Aptiva, the multimedia PC from IBM. Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
When we set out to redesign the most popular car in Canada, you warned us. Don't mess it up. So we only changed two things. The way it looks and the way it works. Introducing the all-new, better Cavalier. It's still genuine Chevrolet.
Let's figure out who this new computer is really for. You or them. All right, this is for you, this is for them, you, them, you, them, probably you and them, you if you get to the computer before they do, definitely you, them mostly, you sometimes, everybody really. If I talk about how it's built and backed and all that stuff, that won't help because that's good for both of you. Okay, how is this? It's for everybody, but it lives in your room. You'll work it out.
Prices are low at Subway, but I'd rather focus on sandwiches. People call them hoagies or heroes or submarines because they're shaped like submarines, but we call them Subway sandwiches. Our 6-inch meatball sub features meatballs and sauce on bread I just baked, all for a low economical price. I won't say how low, but you'll probably find enough in the cushions of your couch.
For nearly 30 years, Subway has made some of the best sandwiches anywhere, like the 6-inch meatball sub, only $1.99 at Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
No matter what you drive, and no matter when you drive it, from extreme cold to extreme heat, count on Delco batteries, dependable power.
Still working with prehistoric copiers? Get the copier that earned Buyers Lab's highest rating for uptime, Mita. For a more productive future, the times demand Mita.
Welcome back to CTV Sports Control. In a few moments, we'll be going to Pasadena, California for the 106th Tournament of Roses Parade. Again, we're updating you on sports that happened yesterday. There are 7 bowl games on tap today on the second day of January, but on New Year's Day, there was some NFL action as well as the NFL playoffs come down to 8 teams now. Let's first of all take you to the game between the New England Patriots and the Cleveland Browns. Wild card game. Vinny Testaverde finds Mark Carrier for a 10-yard score. The Browns lead 10-7 at halftime. Third quarter, 10-10. Leroy Horde scampers in from 10 yards out. Cleveland wins 20-13. So now the Browns will play Pittsburgh next week. Miami against San Diego in the other AFC matchup. In the NFC, it was Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Second quarter, Bears play action. Walsh to Keith Jennings. Steve Walsh gives the Bears a 14-3 lead. Walsh again on target later with Graham, 22 yards. Bears win 35-18. Chicago will now meet San Francisco next week. Green Bay will play against Dallas. This game later today, the Rose Bowl game, could have had huge implications had the Miami Hurricanes last night knocked off the top-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, but they didn't. In the Orange Bowl, let's show you action from last night, a game that didn't end until after midnight out east. It was the Hurricanes taking the early lead, and the Cornhuskers, Corey Schlesinger later, running it in, and then the Cornhuskers, with the score tied, Schlesinger again into the end zone. Nebraska celebrates. Tom Osborne and the Huskers 24-17. Nebraska #1. They should be named the national champions on Tuesday, regardless of what Penn State does against Oregon later today. The Lions and the Ducks to come later today. When we come back, we go to Pasadena. They're getting ready for the Roses Parade in a moment.
Prices are low at Subway, but I'd rather focus on sandwiches. People call them hoagies or heroes or submarines because they're shaped like submarines, but we call them Subway sandwiches. Our 6-inch meatball sub features meatballs and sauce on bread I just baked, all for a low economical price. I won't say how low, but you'll probably find enough in the cushions of your couch.
For nearly 30 years, Subway has made some of the best sandwiches anywhere, like the 6-inch meatball sub, only $1.99 at Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
From mufflers to brakes to tune-ups, under your car or under your hood, Canadian Tire has you covered because we have licensed technicians specially trained to perform each job. all with the experience that comes from servicing over 10,000 cars every day. And we install only quality parts backed by a nationwide guarantee. So when your car needs service, come to the place with the parts, the warranties, and the specialists you can trust to get the job done right. Canadian Tire. There's a lot more for your car for a lot less.
Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to CTV Sports Control. I'm joined by Debbie Wilkes now, who will help bring us the sights and sounds of this 106th Tournament of Roses Parade. As you can see behind us, they're starting to march down Orange Grove Boulevard. There is a specific theme every year, and this is a theme that you know well and we all know well at CTV Sports and throughout the year, the quest for excellence.
It sure is, and what an appropriate one. It's about sports, the quest for excellence, and a real opportunity for the people of California to show their appreciation for how big a deal sports has been in their life. And you know, we talked, or you talked a little bit about the never on Sunday rule. How come it wasn't on TV yesterday? Well, because way back in 1893, which was the first time that the Roses Parade was on a Sunday, they decided that in deference to the horses that were tethered outside of the local churches, that they would not have it on Sunday. So it got moved to Monday, and we're doing the same thing today.
They made a lot of noise, those horses, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
Let's
they
get
did.
to Pasadena right now. There will be some horses today, and obviously there are a lot of flowers and a lot of floats as well. And one of the first floats to come down Orange Grove Boulevard, an American pastime. We talked about sports and the quest for excellence, well, the space program, of course, but here is an astronaut, Debbie, who is shooting for the ultimate hole-in-one.
This is by American Honda, and they sure are moonstruck over their 19th Rose Parade entry. This astronaut is 30 feet tall, and the whole float features a custom-designed sound system generating something like 30,000 watts of special electricity to run it.
Hundreds of floats and a lot of horses. The Long Beach Mounted Police. Second in the marching order, you can see the people lined up along the streets. 1 million people within 5.5 miles on the parade route. And apparently a chilly morning in California.
Yeah, it's only something like 41 degrees, so I don't feel so badly sitting here in Toronto. However, it is bright and sunny. Just to give you a little more history about the parade, it has only rained 9 times in the 106-year history of the Roses Parade.
Never rains in Southern California, does it?
Apparently not. Apparently not. This organization, the Long Beach Mounted Police, is composed of all groups from the Reserve Specialist Officers list within the Long Beach Police Department. This organization was founded in 1935. All the riders on beautiful golden Palomino horses.
And our first marching band entry of the parade from Springfield, Missouri, the Southwest Missouri State University Pride Marching Band.
This is Southwest Missouri State University's first appearance in the Roses Parade. Some prominent SMSU alumni include John Goodman and Kathleen Turner. A huge band, 370 musicians, 132 woodwinds, 143 brass, 50 percussion with 32 color guard.
See the turn 115-degree turn, South Orange Grove Boulevard, down Colorado Boulevard. The parade will then take this band and the rest of the floats to Sierra Madre Boulevard, and then finally to Paloma Street. A look at the crowd this morning in Pasadena.
That's 5.5 miles every one of the participants in the parade will have to travel. And a lot of that grandstand seating that you're seeing on the side has been constructed. There's something like 70,000 seats available for visitors. And there you see the very first Rose Bowl parade back in 1890.
The Valley Hunt Club constructed horse-drawn carriages. And that's how the Tournament of Roses came to be. A little bit different in those days. All of the floats adorned with flowers and various shapes and sizes of leafy material. You can see now the modern day floats, a little bit different, a little bit bigger, and much more expensive.
And Rod, this one is by the Countrywide Funding Corporation. They are this year's winner of the Sweepstakes trophy for the most beautiful float in the parade. 35 feet high, 26 feet in width, and 55 feet in length.
One of the classic sports battles from days gone by, defending home court. There was no football or hockey or baseball way back then. The fight was for the fair maiden.
I guess the battle between good and evil, too. This spectacular three-headed dragon is made of purple dendrobium orchids, chrysanthemums, carnations, poinsettias, birds of paradise. Breathtaking in its size and beauty.
Marching into the picture, keeping in the theme of the medieval times. Restaurant in Southern California. In fact, a restaurant up in Toronto, too. The Medieval Times Dinner and Tournament, and modern day knights joust and square off in their own sports battles, reminding us of those days in the 11th century.
This group is riding Andalusian stallions, wearing authentic 11th century attire. They're actually recreating the family history of their originator, the titled Count of Carlotta in Spain.
And we say howdy, partner, to everybody watching as we take a look at the rodeo dreamer. Cowboys and cowgirls questing in their quest for excellence. We'll continue with more from the 106th Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena.
Barber, easy RRSP planning, dollar cost averaging, forced savings plans, mutual funds. The Wealthy Barber home video makes it all simple and easy to understand so you can start securing your future now. And all for only $19.95. Call now to order and you'll also receive 2 $19.95 Wealthy Barber calendars free. A total value of over $45 yours for just $19.95. Call now. This offer will not be repeated.
You've fed your ears.
Baby likes to rock it like a boogie woogie choo-choo train.
Now feast your eyes.
Take it like rock, baby.
A new network.
Come on, baby, just now.
Non-stop videos.
How did you get to me? No one else on earth.
The hottest music of the 90s.
Standing outside the bar.
Only on Canada's music channel, NCN, the new country network.
Little chilly in Pasadena, California on January 2nd, 1995, but it doesn't matter to any one of these people. They're watching one of the most amazing spectacles on the planet, the Roses Parade, and some of the people watching in 90 countries internationally. There's the Maple Leaf. 90 countries around the world watching the Roses Parade today.
These people in the bleachers by roadside have paid anywhere between $24 and $40 US for their tickets.
Some people get better seats, like the Grand Marshal of the parade, legendary golfer Chichi Rodriguez.
He is riding in a 1948 Lincoln Continental Cabriolet, decorated, of course, by FTD.
I'm honored to be able to extend to all of my friends and fans who are watching this show parade throughout the world my heartiest best wishes for a Happy New Year. To all of you who are watching in Latin and South America via satellite, OTI, those in Puerto Rico, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Hong Kong, and the Far East, Canada on the CTV network, and especially those watching on NBC Super Channel in Europe, a happy and healthy holiday season to all of you. God bless you.
Hey, thank you. Juan Chichi Rodriguez, one of the great entertainers of the golf game. And there is a float from his country, Puerto Rico. There's some golfers on there, some tennis players, cycling, horseback riding, and snorkeling.
This float was designed in the style of the late Isabella Coleman. One of the trophies today during the parade is named after her. She was a woman visionary and a master float designer and builder. All kinds of sports scenes depicted on this float called Riding Through Old San Juan.
Chichi has donated a lot of money to help sports prosper in Puerto Rico.
And if you look back in his history, his personal quest for excellence began with a guava tree branch golf club and a tin can. That's how he learned how to golf.
He does pretty good with the golf club and a ball now. Chichi Rodriguez will look overhead the parade route as we bring in the next marching band.
This is the West Coast Composite Marine Band from 29 Palms, California. 135 instruments. Drum Major Sergeant Joel Stafford.
From the Downey Rose Float Association, we bring you Ballroom Champions.
Downey, California's rendition of the classic sport of ballroom dancing. Kind of interesting about this float because it travels about 27 miles to take its place on Orange Grove Boulevard in the parade. And this year's float was designed by a Downey resident named Jason Redfox. You get a close look at that dance floor. There are 11,000 white satin roses and 4,000 orchids.
We should point out to everyone that all of the flowers, the sweet rice, the orchids, the petals,
seeds, you name it. Everything on those floats.
The Wee Wheelers. with their marshal, Lauren Parker. Award-winning miniature horses. As we take a look at some of the countries that are watching around the world today and on the CTV network. We welcome all of you.
These miniature horses are among the strongest breeds of horses. They used to be used to pull mine carts because of their exceptional strength and endurance. These are all antique, wood-wheeled vehicles.
And then beneath that monstrous construction is a motorized vehicle. Many of the floats with animation and hydraulics. This is a tribute to the noble sport of falconry and a trophy winner.
The judge's special winner for outstanding showmanship and dramatic impact, and it's all about falconry. Direct from the Middle Ages. Look at the detail. Each one of those petals is made of wonderful flowers. The gardens have 3 varieties of orchids and numerous kinds of roses. With a real live falconer and falcon on board.
Good look at the size of this float. And there are size specifications as well.
Yeah, there are. And in fact, some of the floats, we'll point them out to you as we go further through the parade, have to be able to reduce in size because they must go under a bridge at the very end of the parade route.
And as we trumpet in the new year, we welcome the Royal Court, the Tournament of Roses royalty, the Queen and her princesses of the 1995 Tournament of Roses. The 77th Rose Queen and the Royal Court.
As I ride down this magnificent parade route in front of the million-plus people who line the streets to watch the 106th Tournament of Roses parade, I cannot help but think of the additional 450 million viewers around the world who are also watching. To all of them, may I take this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a happy holiday season and a happy new year.
Queen Aaliyah was the queen chosen from 600 who compete in a month-long process to become part of the royal entourage. They must compete in public speaking, through academic achievement. They must be community involved with wonderful personality and great appearance. First queen back in 1905 was Hallie Woods. She made her own drum.
Pasadena City College Tournament of Roses Honor Band.
From Pasadena, California, 196 musicians with 44 color guard members, 9 banner carriers, 1 drum major, and 1 majorette. This band first marched in the Roses Parade in 1930 when they became the official Tournament of Roses band.
ago, a band in Pasadena came out in the middle of the night and painted arrows around that corner so they wouldn't go out of line.
When you're moving that number of people and these size floats around that corner, it takes a great deal of skill. This one from the Farmers Insurance Group, it's called the Backyard Grand Prix.
Go-karts, motorized, flowers decorating each go-kart, and that's the way a lot of race drivers began as well.
This racetrack is a 50-foot oval. The cars can reach a top speed of 15 miles an hour. Riding those cars, the March of Dimes poster child and parent, and a Farmer's Agent of the Year and his spouse.
We should salute our great Canadian drivers of 1994 as they look ahead to the new year. Paul Tracy and Jacques Villeneuve, who had outstanding years. Scott Goodyear, David Empringham, Greg Moore, some of the rising stars. Quest for excellence continues.
That 30-foot-high youngster with the baseball cap on is made of orchids, chrysanthemums, and blue statice.
Time to take a break now. When we come back, much more from the 95 Tournament of Roses Parade as it rolls on in Pasadena, California.
Don't you wish all your hair looked healthier and shinier? It can with Pantene Pro Vive. Our Pro Vitamins penetrate into the root, while our conditioning formula improves your hair all the way to the tips. For hair so healthy looking it shines, try Pantene today.
We interrupt this program to bring you a report from the International Summit.
As you can see, these world leaders and decision makers are now breaking for lunch, and it's pierogies on the menu. China has chosen the potato and onion. Italy takes the pizza. France delights its taste buds with potato and cottage cheese, while Germany selects the sauerkraut, and Canada picks its favorite, cheddar cheese. A decision reached at this summit is that Chimo pierogies are indeed a world-class food.
This Summit Report brought to you by Chimo Pierogies.
Have you ever wished you could look into your future, just to see what opportunities and changes lie ahead? Well, now you can. Call now and speak with one of the nation's top gifted psychics.
I'd really like to know if I'm ever going to hear from my son again.
I wonder how I did at the interview.
I want to know if he's going to ask me to marry him. This is a fascinating experience that you'll remember for a lifetime. Call now and discover what tomorrow will bring.
$3.99 a minute. Must be 18 and over. Zodiac Communications.
Is your foundation undetectable even close up? Max Factor's high definition is. It's so blendable that it's undetectable. A makeup like you've never seen before. High definition makeup. Max Factor International.
Calbridge Fine Homes, a winner of 6 1994 SAM Awards. When it comes to building homes, trust Joe Ferraro and his family to give you their hands-on approach. Calbridge Fine Homes builds successful projects like the Chateaus in the Hamptons. So successful, in fact, the Chateaus were awarded the SAM for the best multifamily project. See for yourself what a custom-built home is really like. See Calbridge Fine Homes, the winner of the inaugural Builder Award of Merit. Show homes are open daily in the Hamptons.
Service through sports, the theme. The family of Freemasonry brings us this entry.
The playing field, all sports involve people on board. The front of the float, an arrangement of lilies, dendrobium and oncidium orchids, gladioli and roses.
A band that has played all over, and for some elite audiences, you just saw a peek at the Wilmington, Delaware High School Tiger Marching Band and the world of golf. And you're going to see a few golf themes throughout this parade, and it would be apropos since Chichi Rodriguez is the Grand Marshal of this parade.
This is a World of Golf by Delta Airlines, featuring a championship-style golf course, its clubhouse, bridges, and all of the spring flora so common to the California area.
Now, we understand there are some celebrity golfers on board. We'll have to pick them out when we get a shot of them. But a good picture again of the great detail and the work that goes into hundreds and hundreds of hours. Once this parade is done, they begin working on their floats for next year's parade.
Delta Airlines is the official airline of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses.
Nice clubhouse. The National Park Service Rangers, part of the 106th Tournament of Roses Parade.
These rangers and volunteers are all from the Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area. They have won hundreds of awards. Most of the riders and their mounts have been through something like 500 hours of training, many with at least 3 years of experience.
And a salute to the Ducks of Oregon. Later today on CTV, the Rose Bowl game, the 81st Classic. The Ducks, who were last year in the Pac-10, they call it the Quack-10. Champions this year. Head coach Rich Brooks, quarterback Danny O'Neill, trying to pull another big upset later today against Joe Paterno's Nittany Lions of Penn State. Ninth ranked in NCAA football. Never have made a trip to the bowl game. Last time, well, actually, 1958. So it's been a long time since the Ducks have been involved in a game like this. And their marching band. Champions of the Pac-10, Oregon Ducks, Penn State, 4:30 Eastern. Our coverage on CTV begins from the Rose Bowl Stadium. The Ducks won 8 of their last 9 to reach the Rose Bowl. You know, preseason prognosticators, Sports Illustrated, as a matter of fact, had them 74th. Rated the Ducks 74th. Now they're one of the top-ranked teams. It's amazing what a turnaround.
I guess they had that I'll show you kind of thing going, did they?
Boy, what a season for them. What a season for a lot of teams. Last night, the Orange Bowl, national champions crowned. Well, at least will be crowned tomorrow with the polls come out. #1, Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Number 1 today in the Roses Parade for the Isabella Coleman Trophy, which is awarded for the best presentation of color and color harmony. This is called Sun Games from the Land of Ancient Gods by JCI Environmental Services. One of the oldest known sports, the Mesoamerican ball game, in which a violent rain god and a peaceful god choose a sport instead of war to decide who is the mightiest. There are 20 outwalkers who will be performing dances to cultural music throughout the 5.5-mile long parade route. This legend goes back to something like 1250 BC. This ball game passed on through generations of Mayan, Incan, and Aztec cultures.
See why it's a trophy winner. Beautiful flow. We welcome the Western Group, their Marshal D.O. Rogers, 22-member award-winning equestrian group.
Miss Rodeo America, featured as part of this Western group.
Next, the superstars of sports, the city of Inglewood, California, where the Forum, the Great Western Forum, is located. Kings and Lakers play there. Cheerleaders on board. And so, apparently, are some sports superstars. Let's see if we can find them.
This roadster is 17 feet high, 55 feet in length, and a real replica of a classic roadster.
Now I see some Kings uniforms on there, some Lakers uniforms, a couple of boxers, a tennis player, and jockeys are on board. Next band, Wisconsin, 116 musicians, 34 color guard, and 3 drum majors.
This band is from the Waukesha North High School and has just won the Milwaukee Great Circus Parade for their 6th time. They performed for former U.S. Presidents Bush and Reagan, and today are playing some great tunes by John Philip Sousa.
Because I love to golf. This is the way I golf.
Lying on your face?
Yeah.
This is the Sierra Madre Rose Float Association, and it's called playing around. I think that's what you mean, huh?
You know, golf, especially in Southern California, so many courses down there, and they get to golf year-round. But Chichi Rodriguez being a parade marshal. Bob Hope was a parade marshal a couple of times. And maybe one of the greatest golf quotes ever. He said, if you watch a game, it's fun. If you play it, it's recreation. If you work at it, it's golf. He's so right.
This fella who is lying there trying to line up his putt for the 13th hole doesn't realize that a chipmunk and a rabbit are trying to tie his shoelaces together. Not going very far. Our golfer's golf shirt is made up of white button mums and red carnations.
This band has come a long way. From Basel, Switzerland. Elysium Music. 81 musicians. They have performed around the world.
They're dressed in the historic uniform of an 1857 guardsman, made of a very heavy material. And these are specially designed helmets.
Another quest for excellence, the quest to preserve California's desert, from the city of Alhambra, California.
This is the 64th Rose Parade entry from the city of Alhambra. Features 2 giant turtles making their leisurely pace across the California desert. No race here, however. They just want to preserve California's deserts and protect the reptiles and cacti that live there. Look closely at the turtles. Their shells are made of eggplant skin, kumquat rind, lentil, and clover seeds.
The Tanner Appaloosa group have been a part of the Roses tradition for a while.
They're riding Appaloosa horses, originally developed by Indians in North America.
Here's another award winner coming down South Orange Grove Boulevard in Pasadena. This is called Reach for the Wind.
This is by the Burbank Tournament of Roses Association, the Founders Trophy being awarded for the most beautifully decorated and built float done by volunteers.
The elephant hang gliding. Take a look at the detail. The hydraulics involved in this underneath, all computer animated.
All the flowers are Hawaiian tropical flowers, orchids from Thailand, birds of paradise, bougainvillea, and bamboo. This is really in keeping with the theme of the parade. 95 animation trophy winner called The Right Stuff. Adventure sports being so popular,
a lot of people during New Year's might see a couple of pink elephants here and there. We see one hang gliding in Pasadena, built by La Canada Flint Ridge Tournament of Roses Association. Nice float. Another band that has traveled from a land afar, from Jakarta, in Indonesia.
This band is from Trisakti University, 124 members. Wearing modified traditional Javanese costumes. Most of the music they'll be playing are all Indonesian songs from all parts of Indonesia.
The Republic of Indonesia traditionally has sent some outstanding floats. And this is the Grand Marshals Trophy winner. Islands of Eden, Quest for Adventure.
Grand Marshals Trophy awarded for most creative design. Indonesia has participated in 6 Rose parades. This time they are highlighting the island of Java. You'll see native dancers.
See that big thing on the front? You just missed the front, the head up there. There he is, a Komodo dragon. Would you like to meet up with one of those? Appears to be only a part of that float. As you can see behind, the second portion of this float is incredible. You can now know why it was the Grand Marshal's Trophy winner.
A look there closely at the native dancers and acrobats who are carrying feathered masks. Some of them are 12 feet high, weighing over 100 pounds.
You go. The Republic of Indonesia and an absolutely breathtaking float, part of the 1995 Roses Parade. We're back in a minute.
Road handling, acceleration, turning radius. We debated how much to tell you about the new Pontiac Sunfire. In the end, we decided to keep it simple. The new Pontiac Sunfire, built for drivers.
I did it first when I was 16. I didn't tell my parents, but...
I was 18. How was it for you?
It was great at first.
Yeah, me too.
Then there were all those commitments.
Oh, weren't music clubs awful?
Introducing the new music club for people who hate commitments. With BMG Music Service, you get 8 CDs for the price of 1 with nothing more to buy ever.
8 for the price of 1, nothing more to buy ever.
You mean there's no more commitments?
That's right, 8 CDs for the price of 1, with no more commitments. Choose from great artists: Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Sarah McLachlan, Ace of Base, rock and pop, R&B, dance, alternative, classic rock, country, and more. BMG Music Service has it all. To get more free information with absolutely no commitment to buy, call 1-800-BMG-1200.
It's like falling in love again.
I'll get the check.
Experience the freedom of BMG Music Service. Call 1-800-BMG-1200 now.
As the thermometer drops, dangerous crystals can form in your car's engine, threatening to shorten its life. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. Whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Tournament of Roses Parade continues. The president of the 1995 Rose Parade, Michael E. Ward, and his wife, Linda. 1940 Packard convertible custom.
In my way of
Darren.
thinking, there are 2 truly international ways of understanding communication among people. One is through music and the other through sports. As my year as 106th president of the Tournament of Roses winds down, our theme, Sports, Quest for Excellence, expresses a true international understanding. With that combination today, and on behalf of the Tournament of Roses Association, I want to wish each and every one of our viewers a very, very happy New Year.
And a happy New Year to Mr. Ward and all of the people across Canada watching today. January 2nd, 1995, the new year is upon us. Did you make any resolutions?
Oh, I try not to because I only break them. But one of the resolutions that the Tournament of Roses Foundation has is to help distribute grants totaling in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to very charitable groups, to disaster funds, to things like the Armenian earthquake relief, and also to students who will be looking for monies to help them through university.
We look again at some of the countries watching. Almost 500 million people. Hard to believe, watching this parade today. The Valley Hunt Club making its way down the boulevard. 104 years ago, they started the Tournament of Roses, planted the first seed, and look what's become of it.
And all in response to trying to show their gratitude to their country and the beauty of the surrounding Pasadena area. So they started with this off to the races kind of thing where they had games and sports. to celebrate, all on New Year's Day, 1890.
Some may have wondered about the game itself. The Rose Bowl game didn't come until later. The first game played between Michigan and Stanford, it was a blowout, so they decided, well, we're not going to have football. We'll wait a few years, and then it was resurrected, and now they're playing again. And they've been playing for, well, this is the 81st Rose Bowl game to come later today, featuring the Pac-10 champions and the Big Ten champions. And speaking of the Big Ten, the Penn State Nittany Lions, making their first appearance in the Rose Bowl in 72 years. They just became part of the Big Ten this year.
We are Penn State!
Number 2 ranked, and had the Cornhuskers of Nebraska lost last night, this game today, had they beaten Oregon, might have made them national champions. But there's still a lot at stake today for the Nittany Lions. Joe Paterno, the legendary coach, could become the all-time winningest coach in postseason in college football. He's won 15 bowl games. He's tied with the great Paul the Bear Bryant. So a lot on the line today for the Nittany Lions. Kerry Collins, their quarterback, is a draft pick of the Toronto Blue Jays. I think he would probably be staying with football, though. He was 3rd in Heisman Trophy balloting this year.
A wonderful look at the thousands of white chrysanthemums and carnations that are on that helmet. 17 feet high, 18 feet wide, and 30 feet in length.
Let's listen in now as the Nittany Lions get fired up. But another 5 hours, they'll be kicking off against the Oregon Ducks. This could be a very interesting year. Something, well, it will be. If the Lions win, this will be the first time that a Big Ten team has gone undefeated, won a bowl game, and not become the national champion. That's a tribute, though, to the Nebraska Cornhuskers and a great year. Tom Osborne and the Huskers had, winning the North Bowl last night. Huge band from Penn State. Do you think any of these band members are going to have a good time over at Rose Bowl Stadium a little later?
Oh, I think they'll be having a great time, but they'll have to wait until at least after halftime because both bands are part of the halftime ceremony.
so big in the United States, and in Canada, we certainly had a great year, too, for our college teams. A tribute to the Western Mustangs, Vanier Cup champions. With the strike in baseball and the lockout in hockey, college football in Canada really saw a resurgence. More people, more kids coming out to the ball games, more interest created from the media, so they enjoyed a great year in Canada on the gridiron.
Our next float is by the Lutheran Laymen's League. The theme, Follow Me, I'll make you fishers of men, from the Bible, Matthew 4:19.
And as the parade rolls on, the celebration continues. Motorized and marching bouquet. We'll be back in a moment with more Pasadena.
Okay, this is a message for you and you and you about getting them and her to buy you a computer, because you can't just throw one in the shopping cart when they aren't looking. Now, the thing you'll notice right away about this new computer is this, and this, and this. But the thing to stress to them is this, and this, and this, even though this one doesn't cost much more than computers that aren't and don't and won't. Oh, and did I mention it can talk?
I am Aptiva.
And sing and dance?
I am Aptiva.
All right, we're working on it.
This is what quality time was like. When you had a quantity of time. Club Med, life as it should be.
I did it first when I was 16. I didn't tell my parents, but...
I was 18. How was it for you?
It was great at first.
Yeah, me too.
Then there were all those commitments.
No, weren't music clubs awful?
Introducing the new music club for people who hate commitments, BMG Music Service. To find out how to experience the freedom of BMG Music Service, 8 CDs for the price of one with no more commitments, call 1-800-BMG-1200.
It's like falling in love again.
Now, we extend our unexcelled level of superior quality and reliable service to North American coverage. Now, Reimer expedites your vital shipments to and from all points in Canada and the continental United States. It's new, it's better, superior service at competitive cost. Call Reimer Express Lines.
This is what being a child was like before they made you grow up. Club Med, life as it should be.
And welcome back to CTV Sports Control in Toronto. I'm Rod Black along with Debbie Wilkes. Millions of people camping out overnight in Pasadena. You didn't have to camp out. You just stayed by your television set to watch the Roses Parade like we did today. We got great seats here just watching from afar. It would be nice to be there, too.
Well, it would. It'd be wonderful. But interesting to note that some people paid $300 for an overnight position for their RV so that they could get front row seats. I think it's much better here.
Well, let's continue on and get a taste of more of what's happening in Pasadena as the bands play on. Down South Orange Grove Boulevard, they go north up that boulevard and make a turn at Colorado Boulevard as we welcome from Sandy Hook, Connecticut, the Newtown High School Marching Band.
This band's trying out their new uniforms made specifically for the Roses Parade today.
One of the most famous alumni from Newtown, the Olympic gold medalist from 1976 in Montreal, the decathlon Bruce Jenner, went to high school at Newtown.
This band has toured Europe 5 times, including a recent tour with performances in Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic.
Quest for Excellence salutes women in 1994, and who better in Canada to salute? And we pay tribute today to the great Miriam Bedard and congratulate her on the birth of her baby daughter, Maud. Miriam in 1994, 2 gold medals in the biathlon in Lillehammer. And here are some other women who did excellent things in sports, not only from 94, but from years gone by.
Sponsored by the 1928 Jewelry Company, this float celebrates women's participation in sports, with women athletes from different eras and the various sports they love. In the center of the float, you see the white columns with black writing. Those columns list the names of legendary female athletes. The medals are made of straw flowers, sesame seeds.
Saw the name Wilma Rudolph.
So did I.
The world of sports lost a great person. Wilma Rudolph, who passed away in 1994. Another horse club, Peruvian Paso Horse Club.
If you look closely at these horses, you can easily identify them by the unusual arcing of its forelegs. This is completely natural, apparently, and cannot be found in any other breed.
Next in the march order of floats, Photo Safari.
This float having won the Director's Trophy for the Outstanding Artistic Merit in Design and for Outstanding Floral Presentation by the Eastman Kodak Company.
Last year they were trophy winners with the Grand Marshal's Trophy winners, so these people know how to put a float together, don't they?
They sure do. And you know, an interesting thing about this one, too, is that it marks the 8th year that deaf students from Cal State University in Northridge have decorated Kodak's float. Thousands of hours have gone into putting those marigolds, cordon puffs, pampas grass, onion seed into the leopard's coat.
The Fort Mill High School Band from South Carolina. And as we let that band play, and as they march on, we continue the 106th Tournament of Roses Parade on CTV.
Here comes the luscious lip color that keeps its look and feel.
Okay, let's go.
Continuously. CoverGirl presents Continuous Color Lipstick.
I love it.
Specially formulated with vitamin E to glide on smooth and a built-in base coat to help keep your color looking and feeling just put on for hours.
That's why they call it Continuous.
In so many ready-to-wear shades, Continuous Color Lipstick looks and feels just put on for hours.
That was a long day.
Only from CoverGirl.
Expand your horizons. Never compromise your dreams. Majestic RV is proud to recommend the ultimate full-scale luxury of Newmar motorhomes and fifth wheels. Uncompromised workmanship is the Newmar trademark. London Air fifth wheels, Country Air Class A motorhomes, the Country Star diesel pusher, and the new Gulfstream Scenic Cruiser. Newmar and Majestic RV, the class of the market.
3 News Hawks bring you the best. Lori McLean couldn't believe this entire neighborhood in Airdrie was on fire. And when the blaze first broke, there was still someone inside.
By the time that he went in and dialed 911 to inform the authorities that the house was on fire and came back outside, he was unable to go back into the house because the heat and the flames were so intense.
Be a Channel 3 News Hawk. If you have a news tip, call 246-1100.
Where can you get cool, crisp salad? Foodie Goody. Wonderful ribs and chicken? Foodie Goody. Your choice of over 100 delicious items. Foodie Goody. succulent shrimp adds that special touch to create your own combination plate. Foodie Goody. All this at a special price. Foodie Goody. Come try Alberta's most successful Chinese buffet at 10426 McLeod Trail South, next to Mark's Work Warehouse.
Hello to everyone watching across Canada. Happy New Year. Good morning to the people on the West Coast. If you're just waking up and joining us for the 106th Tournament of Roses Parade, the theme is Quest for Excellence. This is Team Spirit from Glendale, California. A little whitewater rafting to start the year.
Well, and a little cooperation necessary to do it, I think. The City of Glendale's 78th Rose Parade entry. They chose Team Spirit because their float happens as a result of 400 community groups whose combined effort contributes to Glendale's quality of life.
That's one of the things about this parade. To build a float like this, you not only need the money, obviously, and the funds, which are brought in by sponsors and corporate donations, but also from the tremendous volunteer force. Unbelievable the amount of time that goes into it, the people who do not get paid, just plastering and gluing flowers and seeds onto floats. And it really is a real love-in, and the people love to do it.
And remember that all of these flowers, petals, seeds, roots, skins are all live. So it has to be done within the last 36 hours.
And some people think it might be a little excessive or extravagant, especially with problems in the world that we may have to do something like this. But on the good side of that, all of these flowers and all of the plant formations are recycled into potpourri afterwards and sold, and then there are donations that are made to charities around the world.
That's right. The FTD florists process all of the flowers and petals from the floats into potpourri, which are sold, as you mentioned, and go to the Children's Miracle Network.
Another peek into the future. We're creeping closer to the new millennium. Building universal friendship
From
with
Rotary.
the Frisbee.
Yeah, the Rotary International people have won the Fantasy Trophy this year. The best display of imagination. It's the sport of Frisbee between an astronaut and some kind of Martian. I guess this is all about learning how sports encourage friendship. The Fantasy Trophy winner for the best display of imagination.
Behind that, the race home, depicted in this trophy, the Tournament Special Trophy.
This is for excellent merit in multiple forms of presentation. These two children on the float are in a race surrounded by a host of animals. The two children, called Pedrito and Rosita, and they hear in their native town about a famous folkloric dance contest. And they practice and practice because the winner of the dance contest will win the trophy of Poncho, a cute, furry little donkey that's been in the neighboring ranch. And as they practice really hard over time, they finally win the dance contest. This is the moment where they are racing home to tell their parents that they finally won Poncho.
Dreams really begin as children, no matter where you come from. If you compete in sports or anything like that, when you first come home and tell your parents or your brothers and sisters that you finally did something you couldn't do before. The American Morgan Horse Unit is up next. The first and oldest light horse breed dating back to 1789.
The American Morgan Horse Unit has been in the parade for over 40 years. All of the horses are local, national, and world champions participating in shows throughout the United States.
The Governor's Trophy winner coming down the boulevard now, the Urban Hiker.
This float by the city of Los Angeles winning for their best depiction of life in California. This little guy, this squirrel, is out for a little jog, a little hike in the great Los Angeles out of doors. He's got his Walkman on.
That's what they do in LA, don't they?
Yep.
He's going to the Rose Bowl game.
The city of Los Angeles is the longest float participant in the Rose Parade. They entered their first float in 1897. That little squirrel is made of Ming moss, pampas and uva grass, straw flower, poppy seed, and all sorts of delicious spices.
Another high school band making its way down the street from Poway, California. Poway High School Emerald Brigade.
There are 196 musicians in this band. And this is their 5th appearance in the parade. A little note, too, about the Poway High School. Their Music Booster Club runs the 2nd largest recycling center in San Diego County, second only to the U.S. Navy.
The Great American Road Race. The Automobile Club of Southern California has put this together, and they have come up as winners.
Winners of the Queen's Trophy for best use of roses. All 3 of these cars are scale replicas. Takes you back in time a little bit. Race between vintage automobiles. Featured our Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost from 1909, a Stanley Steamer from 1911, and a Green Baker electric car from 1913.
I'm sure they were all part of the Roses Parade in Pasadena at the turn of the century. Some people may wonder about the people who are riding or walking, the people on the floats, and how tired they would get after 5.5 miles. I'm sure their arms might be more sore than anything because of the waving they have to do.
Very true. Many of these groups, particularly the equestrian units and the bands, perform regularly throughout the year. This is the American Bashkir Curly Registry. With the rare American Bashkir Curly horse, it was discovered only 100 years ago, roaming wild in the mountains of Nevada. Of course, its trademark is a very curly coat.
The wise old owl tells us to remember that education first, from the Oddfellows and Rebecca's.
I've always found in my career in sports that it's interesting to know that so many good athletes are always very good in school.
As Mr. Owl makes his way down the parade path, we invite you to stay with us. We'll be back to Pasadena.
When we set out to redesign the most popular car in Canada, you warned us. Don't mess it up. So we only changed two things. The way it looks and the way it works. Introducing the all-new, better Cavalier. It's still genuine Chevrolet.
You've fed your ears.
Baby likes to rock it like a boogie-woogie choo-choo train.
Now feast your eyes.
Take it like rock, baby.
A new network.
Come on, baby, drive slow.
Non-stop videos.
How did you get to me? No one else on
The hottest music of the 90s.
Standing outside the bar.
Only on Canada's Music Channel, NCN, the new country network.
Littlefoot and his friends are back
All right, let's go.
in an all-new musical adventure. The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure. An exciting home video full of action, mystery, laughter, and love. A sequel to the classic that has captured the hearts of children and adults alike. The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure. On video cassette, rated G.
What's been added to original shredded wheat? Not fat, not sugar, and not a pinch of salt. Because original shredded wheat cereal is made from pure, delicious 100% whole grain wheat. So, what would you add to original shredded wheat?
Milk's good.
Original shredded wheat. It's just good stuff.
From Southern California, Edison, ready or not, here we come. Puzzles and people and puppets, all part of this huge float.
This float is the winner of the past President's Trophy for the most creative design and use of floral and non-floral materials. Southern California, Edison, welcoming to PBS the world premiere of the People Puppets from a new daily preschool TV series called The Puzzle Place.
Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of flowers and petals, cinnamon, paprika, pepper, and cornmeal.
I'm hungry.
Have breakfast as well.
This is the fourth year in a row that Edison is the only all-electric powered float in the parade. The float paid for by company stockholders and not by their customers.
As we take a look at the Gene Autry Western Heritage Museum's Spirit of the West Riders, I want to ask you about judging. Everyone has seen these award winners come up. What is the criteria for judging?
It is very, very particular. There are 3 judges. Jan Carl is one judge, Berta de Rivera, and John Roberts, the 3rd judge. They are all experts in the field of floral presentation. They will judge and give their scores based on criteria such as creative design, craftsmanship, artistic merit, animation, theme. There are 3 judging sessions that take place, twice during the decorating stages and once a few hours before the celebrations began today.
Technical merit and artistic impression?
Exactly, exactly.
They've done a pretty good job with the judging so far. All of the floats that we have seen come our way that have been trophy winners certainly have been deserving. As we take a look at air races, the daring young men and women in their flying machines.
This one by the Sunkissed Growers. I'm surprised it didn't win a trophy. It has incredible imagination. 4 aircraft riders up there.
It might have exceeded the height requirements because there are height and length requirements. And if you break the rules, just like in figure skating...
I think it didn't land its triple.
It's a monstrous float.
6 unique flying machines competing around a floral pylon that rises 50 feet above the ground.
Look at that picture as it makes its way to that 115-degree turn. We have seen in the past couple of years some floats not able to make the turn, causing a delay. We'll see how this float is able to manipulate its way around the corner. This is the start of the parade route, by the way. They still have another 4.5 miles, almost 5 miles to go. Greenville, Mississippi brings us the high school solid gold marching band.
And their motto is perfectly in keeping with the theme today, Sports Quest for Excellence. The motto for the band says, "Nothing of value comes without effort." And they all claim, with numerous awards to their credit, that it's the discipline, attitude, and training that is the secret to their success. Under the direction of Ken Carter, these musicians all from Greenville High School, which is the largest of 5 high schools in the city.
Everyone talking football over the last couple of days. 7 bowl games to complete the bowl barrage. A game going on in Tampa Bay right now, the Hall of Fame Bowl. Wisconsin Badgers unranked against 20th ranked Duke. The Blue Devils trailing 13-7. That's in the second quarter. Citrus Bowls play today as well. Cotton Bowl, CarQuest Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl, and of course the Rose Bowl to come on CTV. 4:30 Eastern, our coverage begins. 1:30 Pacific. The Sport of Kings, horse racing. Arcadia Tournament of Roses Association, they have been in this parade for a while.
I think it's their 30th entry. This year they came out winners of the theme trophy for the best depiction of the theme.
The Sports Quest for Excellence. What a year for horse racing it was. The Triple Crown, the year of the Cat. Tabasco Cat won the Preakness in Belmont, finished behind Gopher Gin in the Kentucky Derby. Great year up in Canada, the Queen's Plate as well. Santa Anita Racetrack in California. Some of the great horses, legendary jockeys have been part of Santa Anita's history.
Those are real jockeys, but the horses are not. The horses are made of millet, clover, parsley seeds, and spices.
Those are the kind I bet on. They seemingly don't move. Beautiful sunshine, a beautiful day. Pasadena in full bloom for this 106th Tournament of Roses parade. Good people of Hawaii have come from their state, brought their horses along too.
Part of this display includes 8 island princesses dressed in each island's colors. Important to know that the history of the Hawaiian cowboy began in the late 1880s when Spanish-speaking migrants brought from Mexico to Hawaii all of their ranching skills, and so it began.
And from the state of Hawaii, the hula, part of the theme. Everyone says aloha, Happy New Year. Ocean sports. They're not into ice hockey or skiing as much as we are in Canada in the winter. They prefer something on the surfboard, water skiing.
I could go for that. I could go for a little of that.
About 80 degrees Fahrenheit in Hawaii. About 30 degrees cooler in Pasadena. High School Marching Band.
And always with the ever-familiar lady. Members in this unit. They are the winners of many state band competitions, and they have performed in parades in Japan as well.
We go from the sun and sand of Hawaii to the snow, the winter wonderland. The city of St. Louis, Missouri has brought us a beautiful package, crisp New England winter scene.
Well, you talked about no ice in Hawaii. This one has real ice on the float being pulled by these beautiful Clydesdale horses. And there's the ice, look, with real skates, but I don't think there's much room for triples on that.
That would be a fun way to spend a parade.
Winter Wonderland won the Lathrop Leishman Trophy for the most beautiful entry from a non-commercial sponsor. The snow is all white chrysanthemums. The trees are all made of roses, carnations, and various types of orchids. And one carrot.
That qualifies, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. You'll see lots of fruits and vegetables and some of the close-up details on many of the floats.
A few years ago, they had a problem in California with the flowers and the frost, and there were no flowers. They all froze and dried up, and they just couldn't paste them onto the float, so they used orange peels. It became the Tournament of Oranges parade, I guess. No problems growing flowers this year. A wonderful float. The Winter Wonderland. We hope you're enjoying this Tournament of Roses parade from wherever you're watching in Canada. We'll return to Pasadena, California after this message from your local Smart.
Prices are low at Subway, but I'd rather focus on sandwiches. People call them hoagies or heroes or submarines because they're shaped like submarines, but we call them Subway sandwiches. Our 6-inch meatball sub features meatballs and sauce on bread I just baked, all for a low economical price. I won't say how low, but you'll probably find enough in the cushions of your couch.
For nearly 30 years, Subway has made some of the best sandwiches anywhere, like the 6-inch meatball sub, only $1.99 at Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Imagine you didn't have to go to school.
Cool.
Or eat your vegetables.
Great.
Or take a bath because you have no running water. Imagine no toilet, no TV or electricity, and no bed to make because you have no bedroom. Imagine everything you take for granted taken away, including hope. No child should live this way. Please sponsor a child through Plan International. The difference you make will last a lifetime. Call 1-800-265-PLAN.
As the thermometer drops, dangerous crystals can form in your car's engine, threatening to shorten its life. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. Whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Still working with prehistoric copiers? Get the copier that earned Buyers Lab's highest rating for uptime, Mita. For a more productive future, the times demand Mita.
No matter what you drive, and no matter when you drive it, from extreme cold to extreme heat, count on Delco batteries, dependable power.
Another trophy winner. Trophy winner from China Airlines, Traditions of Excellence.
And the international trophy is won for the most beautiful use of flowers from outside the continental United States. And there in the center, a look at an 18-foot-tall gymnast who will swing above the ground in a circle over the high bar. This float certainly showing the kind of emphasis gymnastics has for the Chinese people.
He looks like he's been training with Hans and Franz a little bit. Beautiful float from China Airlines. From Holland, Michigan, the Holland High School Marching Dutchman Band.
And yes, those are wooden shoes. Every member of the band must wear them. And each jacket has a windmill on it, too. The official logo of the city of Holland, Michigan.
5.5 miles in wooden shoes.
Scary, isn't it? Well, you don't need a percussion section. I have actually worn wooden shoes, and you know what? They are very comfortable. It's true.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll believe you. Buy some tomorrow. Wooden shoes from the Holland Dutchman Band. And now, the city of Long Beach, California presents Just a Day at the Beach.
For the city of Long Beach, this is their 78th time to participate in the Roses Parade. And their entry showing all the wonderful things to do on the beach, from snorkeling to biking, swimming. Over the course of their long history in the Roses Parade, the city of Long Beach has sponsored something like 55 floats, which have won no less than 44 trophies.
The new Buffalo Soldiers may just seem like a horse unit at this parade, but you may have seen this group before.
Yeah, they have been on TV several times. They have been on the TV program Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and they have also appeared in the movie Geronimo.
And from Kiwanis International, a salute to the Special Olympians, called Everybody Wins.
The Special Olympic Games will be held in New Haven, Connecticut in July of this year, with nearly 7,000 athletes from more than 130 countries participating. This float has won the Volunteers Trophy for the best floral design under 35 feet.
And to all of our Special Olympians across Canada watching, best of luck in New Haven in July. Much more to come from the Tournament of Roses parade. We're just halfway through, folks. Stay with us. We'll be back to Pasadena in a moment.
At last, my finest hour. Whoa, London Drugs 1 hour photo finishing. Hi there. They have the best equipment and the friendliest people. Whoop, here goes. Whoa! First, a brisk massage and a luxurious bath with the finest fluids for my natural highlights. Ooh, these warm rays bring out all my rich colors. Then some R&R out on the deck. Boy, these guys really know how to treat film.
Pamper your prints at London Drugs 1 hour photo finishing. And now get a free roll of film with each roll you process.
Sitting on this is like sitting on the old mare just after she throwed you on a giant cactus. So that's why I like Cricklewood Country Classics. They've kept the look and feel of the Old West, but now we've got the comfort that we really need after being on that horse for 16 hours a day, every day of your life. And Cricklewood's got all those little extras that really make the old homestead happy. So Cricklewood Country Classics got what it takes for comfort. Too bad you don't have one of these tonight.
Go west.
Big sky gonna be my place.
Go west.
I got a bigger taste.
Slow roasting beats fast cooking, and nothing beats Arby's $1.49 bacon cheddar. Arby's roast beef, crispy bacon, and cheddar cheese sauce, just $1.49. You best hurry.
Yippee-yay, yippee-yi. Look for the hat in the western sky.
Arby's, it's better out here.
Who's number one in real estate? You are. And you. You too. And you. CIR Realtors are totally committed to you, whether you're buying or selling. So when the others boast about being number one, remember, as a CIR customer, you really are number one. CIR Realtors, simply put, commitment, integrity, results.
Happy New Year to all of you who are joining us for the Tournament of Roses Parade. Another trophy winner from the Florists Trans World Delivery Association. We have the Grand Canal Race.
And this one won the President's Trophy for the most effective use and presentation of flowers. Here we see the canals of Venice come alive. It's all the result of exacting research showing the ceremonial gondolas participating in the Regatta Storica, a historical regatta which occurs every year in Venice. There's a very sophisticated hydraulic system in this float that creates the idea that those gondolas are actually floating in water.
The Humor Trophy. Again, golf the theme. Chichi Rodriguez, the Grand Marshal of the parade. He must have had a say in some of these floats. This one is called For.
Well, I've never seen so much fun at a golf game before. There's this dapper rooster. He's in his floral tweed pants, lining up his shot. There he is. But there's this chaos going on behind him.
Great year for golf in Canada. Canadian Open, Nick Price was the champion again. Price also won the British and PGA championships this year. We also must salute Dave Barr, Rick Gibson, and Ray Stewart, the Dunhill Cup champions of Canada for 1994. This is the Mission Bells.
20 riders mounted on classic American breeds used in the Old West. All women riders, all part of the rodeo, founded in 1988 by former Miss Rodeo, Susan Root. This group goes all over the southern United States in horse shows and county fairs and charity events.
All right, anyone who has a dieting resolution for the new year, you better not listen to what Debbie has to tell you. What this float is made of.
It's called the Sweet Taste of Victory. It's got frosting, cupcakes, pies, and donuts. But what makes it a little bit easier is it's all made of flowers. That landscape has over 35,000 roses. Some of the types: Town Crier Yellow, Belinda Orange, Carina Pink, and Golden Mercedes. Not only that, the float is animated with spinning whirlybird wings. There's a revolving gingerbread house water wheel. The candy rotates. And a few live specimens probably wishing it really was ice cream.
From Atlanta, Georgia, the Morris Brown College Marching Wolverine Band.
This is the Wolverine's second appearance at the Rose Parade, directed by Cleopas Johnson. Made up of 150 musicians with 5 drum majors, 10 majorettes, 16 flag twirlers, and 5 color guards.
We now have a salute to America's finest, celebrating a century of chiropractic care.
Boy, and how many times athletes have needed these incredible people to put them back on the track after injuries. This one part of the parade because 1995 is the centennial of chiropractic medicine. The eagle in the center turns 180 degrees from side to side, and in fact, this is one of the floats that must lower itself from 40 feet to 17 feet to fit under the freeway bridge at the parade's end, and they've got to do it in just 60 seconds. Featuring athletes from all around the world. There certainly isn't a better symbol of excellence than that very majestic American eagle.
The Icelandic Horse Adventure Society.
Now, apparently the Icelandic horse is a very rare breed in the United States, although it has been purebred for over 1,000 years. Known for its smoothness and sure-footedness, it is the only horse known to be ridden in all 5 gaits.
Strong horse, too.
Yeah, apparently can pull other horses by something like 1.6 per pound body weight. I'm not sure what that means, but if you're a horse enthusiast, you'll know.
Little horsing around here, the International House of Pancakes restaurant. Their 23rd Rose Parade entry.
A look there at 12-year-old Annalie Velasquez of Arcadia, California. She was the one who came up with this design featuring horseback riding. And it was a contest dreamed up by the International House of Pancakes nationwide.
Much more to come. The parade continues in Pasadena on CTV.
When we set out to redesign the most popular car in Canada, you warned us. Don't mess it up. So we only changed two things. The way it looks and the way it works. Introducing the all-new, better Cavalier. It's still genuine Chevrolet.
Music clubs. Music clubs?
Too many commitments. Introducing the new music club for people who hate music clubs. With BMG Music Service, you get 8 CDs for the price of 1, with nothing more to buy ever.
8 for the price of 1?
No more commitments.
Nothing more to buy ever?
That's right. 8 CDs for the price of 1, with no more commitments, ever. Choose from great artists like the Tragically Hip, Sarah McLachlan, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, rock and pop, alternative, R&B, dance, country, classic rock, and more. BMG Music Service has it all. To get more free information with absolutely no commitment to buy, call 1-800-BMG-1200.
Read my lips. No more commitments!
Well, that's freedom.
Experience the freedom of BMG Music Service. Call 1-800-BMG-1200 now.
They fought over how to reach a young woman found alone in the wilderness.
There isn't anybody who speaks her language.
Fought over how to protect her.
I happen to like Nell. What you do to her is personal to me.
Until the power of her innocence brought them together. Jodie Foster, Liam Neeson, and Natasha Richardson in a Michael Apted film that David Sheehan of CBS Television says has Oscar written all over it. Nell. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Not far from Pasadena, just south of the San Gabriel Mountains, Anaheim, California, home of Disneyland and the Disneyland characters in this tribute to sports quest for excellence.
Yeah, here we see Mickey and Minnie and Goofy and Donald. Boy, I can remember some wonderful cartoons where they were all doing various sports and all trying to be great at it. Disney's relationship with the Roses Parade began back in 1938 when they had a float that featured Snow White and 7 Dwarfs. Of course, Walt Disney was Grand Marshal in 1966.
And speaking of sports, they now own a hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. The Oregon Trophy, Mayor's Trophy winner, this float from the Portland Rose Festival. And this is rather ironic that this year, although they have been competing in the trophy, the float trophy competition, they've been part of this parade. They have a football team in the Rose Bowl game, too. Portland Rose Festival is Pasadena's sister festival to the north, and the Rose Bowl to come from Rose Bowl Stadium, Penn State and Oregon. Later in the day on CTV Sports, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, our CTV coverage begins. The Nittany State Lions and the Ducks.
The deer on this beautiful float are made of carnations, chrysanthemums, straw flowers, seaweed, sweet rice, and lentils.
I would guess they are probably duck fans, the people on that float. Makes it a little more special when your team makes it to the game as well. More countries watching around the world, 90 countries. 450 million people tuned in today.
This next equestrian entry is the International Andalusian Horses of Spain. They are dressed in authentic Spanish attire.
Sailing for dreams under the watchful eye of the moon and stars. We have three characters you might not recognize, but you will know.
Winkin', blinkin', and nod.
From the nursery rhyme.
They're sailing off in their wooden shoe sailboat. This float honoring the Make-A-Wish Foundation. On board, Miss America Heather Whitestone and Make-A-Wish child Yvette Martinez. The waves are all white roses with Wedgwood and Dutch blue iris.
And one's winking, one's blinking, and one's nodding. Another colossal float coming down South Orange Grove Boulevard. Headed for the game. Mama and Papa Bear.
This float is the winner of the National Trophy for the best depiction of life in the United States.
Now, I don't know if these bears are duck fans or Nittany Lion fans. Bears fans, for sure.
Absolutely. They're riding with their family in the 1935 Duesenberg Speedster convertible. And this float was all decorated by volunteers, more than 10,000 hours to decorate this float.
Headed for the game. Not a hockey game right now.
Too bad.
Yes, the lockout continues, but there were some great hockey stories in 1994 for Canadian sports fans. Of course, the Olympic Games, Paul Kariya beating the Czech Republic, Canada going to a shootout against Sweden. The women's hockey world champions, the women's hockey team of Canada, and then Canada world champions in men's hockey, the shootout against Finland. Bill Ranford the save, so it was a great year for hockey. Let's just hope in 1995 we see some of that NHL stuff.
You know, growing up, being Canadian, there's nothing like the Stanley Cup, but at the moment...
Our next float, as we get closer to the end of this parade route, Playing with the Sun, the Republic of El Salvador.
And again, we're looking at a myriad of water sports and lots of recreational activities along the coastal shorelines of El Salvador. That sun made from straw flowers, lentils, and tubed roses. The blue and white waves of El Salvador made of blue iris, statice, leather fern, bells of Ireland, and starburst chrysanthemums. A little more simple than some of the other floats, but very effective. The vibrant colors. So imaginative.
The West High School Entertainment Unit. They will take us to commercial. Let's listen in as the Roses Parade continues.
Let's figure out who this new computer is really for. You or them? All right, this is for you, this is for them, you, them, you, them, probably you and them, you if you get to the computer before they do, definitely you, them mostly, you sometimes, everybody really. If I talk about how it's built and backed and all that stuff, that won't help because that's good for both of you. Okay, how is this? It's for everybody, but it lives in your room. You'll work it out.
Music clubs. Music clubs?
Too
many commitments. Introducing the new music club for people who hate music clubs. BMG Music Service.
8 for the price of 1?
No more commitments. To find out how to experience the freedom of BMG Music Service, 8 CDs for the price of 1 with no more commitments, call 1-800-BMG-1200.
Read my lips. No more commitments!
That's freedom.
Campbell's introduces a new line of soups called home cooking.
Oh, hi there. Excuse me. Yeah, want to try a taste test? Yeah, ordinary mushroom soup versus this new one.
Oh, the new one tastes better.
But you didn't taste it.
Look at those big, juicy pieces of mushroom.
Well, it is a taste test.
Doesn't that look delicious?
Taste it.
What's the name of this soup? It's New Home Cooking from Campbell's. So I'll buy it.
I get paid by the taste.
Oh. Mmm, I knew it. I saw it.
Campbell's new home cooking soup. See how it tastes.
From headlights, to transmission fluid, to tires. Inside, outside, top to bottom, Canadian Tire has you covered. Because we have the experience that comes from servicing over 10,000 cars every day, and more than 65,000 auto parts and products, which means we help maintain more cars than anyone. So whatever you need, come to the one place with everything, Canadian Tire. There's a lot more for your car for a lot less.
Back on the parade route in Pasadena, the Princess's Trophy winner.
The city of Torrance has done this float, a simply lovely game of chess. The Princess's Trophy for the most beautiful float under 35 feet. Kind of reminds you of Alice in Wonderland.
The Lions Club International. With the silent world of sports, a tribute to the hearing impaired and their sporting endeavors.
There are 7 riders on this float representing the camp activities of archery, hiking, swimming, volleyball, nature study, and camping. The lion's body is built from bronze chrysanthemums, straw flowers, pampas grass, as you see there around his eyes, sesame and clover seeds. His face, flax, corn silk, seaweed, and onion seed.
The Valley Silver Bullets are wishing everyone a Happy New Year.
Rod, this group is from Maricopa, Arizona. Truly fitting with today's theme because sports as a quest for excellence, they say they make their dreams become reality. Mostly because the group is comprised of mentally and physically challenged individuals of all ages.
And continuing on the theme of sports, the quest for excellence, if you can't get the ball to the hoop, you bring the hoop to the ball.
And therefore, the theme of this float, bending the rules.
Cal Poly Universities of Pomona and San Luis Obispo putting this together, self-built, a marvelous, marvelous structure, animation, humor, color.
Well, the Cal Poly Universities cultivate all their own flowers for the float using all California-grown materials. And as an interesting spin-off, too, there are a growing number, apparently, of Cal Poly alumni couples that met, courted, and eventually married as a result of working together on the floats in the Roses Parade.
From overhead, you know, you saw some animals on that float with a basketball in their hands, but in Canada in 1994, we welcomed a couple of new animals to the basketball fold. We'll see them in 1995. The Toronto Raptors became reality, sparking some new hairdos, and of course out west in Vancouver, Arthur Griffith's General Motors Place. Everything ready for the Vancouver Grizzlies. We say hello to everyone who will be working with those organizations and all of the basketball fans across Canada. Excitement for the new year.
And welcome to this band from Osaka, Japan. The Queen Star Marching Band, an all-girl band made up of 133 musicians.
Pasadena's sister city in Japan is Mishima. And the float you will see in just a few moments, tribute to the national sport of Japan. If it's not the national sport, it's certainly very popular. There he is in the background.
A giant sumo wrestler being led down the parade route by samurai warriors and mounted shoguns. Pasadena and Mishima, Japan, began their relationship as sister cities back in 1957. But this is the first time that Mishima has participated in the Roses Parade.
Very few of us understand the sport of sumo. We kind of watch it here and there, and we see these rather large fellows wearing these funny little things around their body, trying to bump each other out of a circle, but it is amazing to watch the popularity of that sport in that country.
The participants are greatly revered. National heroes. Listening to this music, it's all authentic, provided by the Mishima Cultural Festival. Mount Fuji in the background, built from crushed sweet rice, coconut flakes, Vanda orchids, many more orchids and daisies, roses and lilies in all the gardens.
The Camarillo White Horse Association, as they salute more of the countries watching, including all of you folks watching from coast to coast across Canada. Tournament of Roses Parade, 106th edition, as spectacular as ever. One of the great things about being there, and we were there a few years ago, and when you're far away from it, you can't really get a sense of the size nor the smell. It smells like you're in the world's largest florist shop when you're there.
This float, called Venus, the Champion of Love.
Venus rises from the ocean, pulled by two majestic swans. The champion of love, the quest for excellence, continues from Pasadena.
Have you ever wished you could look into your future, just to see what opportunities and changes lie ahead? Well, now you can. Call now and speak with one of the nation's top gifted psychics.
I'd really like to know if I'm ever going to hear from my son again.
I wonder how I did at the interview.
I want to know if he's going to ask me to marry him. This is a fascinating experience that you'll remember for a lifetime. Call now and discover what tomorrow will bring.
$3.99 a minute. Must be 18 and over. Zodiac Communications.
The grand opening of Cal Spas is on. The world's largest spa manufacturer is now in Calgary. Choose from an incredible selection, including over 100 different spas, 70 gazebos, and 25 pool tables. Grand opening specials include a home spa with gazebo for just $19.95. Trust the professionals at Cal Spas, the world's largest spa manufacturer. The grand opening sale event is on now at Cal Spas, 4336 McLeod Trail South. Hey!
We want to see you have a good time. Japanese Village. Awesome.
Presenting 4 great reasons to buy your contact lenses from Crown Optical. 1. Crown Optical has licensed opticians on staff to assure that you get a perfect fit. 2. Each Crown Optical location has hundreds of contact lenses in stock, so they can fit you with the lens you need right away. 3. Buy any pair of standard daily wear contact lenses for just $110. And 4. Get a second pair of lenses for just $8 more. The highest quality, the best price. That's the royal treatment. That's Crown Optical.
Last float of the Roses Parade. Buzzer beater, hoop shot from the Elks Club.
This is really meeting the challenge of the theme, Sports Quest for Excellence. Young mice looking their quest for excellence as they participate in the Elks National Hoop Shot Free Throw Contest.
And the Los Angeles Unified All-District High School Honor Band, 23rd consecutive appearance in the Rose Parade.
This unified all-district band was formed in 1972 specifically for the Rose Parade. There are 49 district schools represented in this band. Total enrollment exceeds 650,000 students, 87% of which are from minorities. The best are chosen: 120 trumpets, 70 trombones, 15 baritones, 20 sousaphones, 30 drums, 3 drum majors, 3 twirlers, 22 tall flags, and 11 shield carriers. Directed by Don Dustin and Frank Harris. Every year they play special music that is arranged just to fit the parade theme. And even before that, for 2 months prior to the parade, the unit marches over 100 miles to condition themselves for that 5.5-mile journey today.
And of course, the Goodyear blimp, taking some of the great shots you see from overhead. Pasadena, translated, it means valley between the hills, the San Gabriel Mountains. offering the backdrop to the world's most famous parade. Last but not least, final marching order, we bring in the United States Marshal's Posse.
This is just like going back in time to Wyatt Earp and Wild Bill Hickok. The United States Marshal's Posse shows us the legacy and prestige of the U.S. Marshals Service. It's had something like 205 years of history. First began by President George Washington when he appointed the first 13 U.S. Marshals in 1789.
They've been all over this group, president's inaugurations, and also at the Calgary Stampede. A look at the people now making their way as the parade ends in Pasadena. A lot of memories, perhaps some even friendly family arguments about which they thought was the best float of the day. But you can see now the people make their way, probably for a little brunch, and then later the Rose Bowl game at the Rose Bowl between Penn State and Oregon to come later in the day. We still have some time here on CTV today. We've been showing you all day long some of the sports stories and sports people that we've been talking about throughout 1994, and in 1995 there will be many more. But when we come back, we're going to take a look at the top 3 sports stories according to Canadians from 1994.